Hey, what's up? Welcome everybody. It is TSP TV and it is going to be a very short and sweet little video where I'm going to be making a little recipe or meal for myself out of my pantry items. Now, some of you may or may not be aware that for the duration of this pandemic, since I was removed from work, not removed from work for misconduct, just removed from work because I'm no longer essential. The local government decided that bars and restaurants needed to close down in order to flatten the curve and ensure the spread of COVID doesn't exist. But it's perfectly all right to go to places like Walmart or Target and maybe even order food from KFC and McDonald's. Perfectly fine to use these things, but don't go to restaurants and bars. Maybe not go to mom and pop shops. That's where you're really going to catch the COVID, but perfectly safe to go to Walmart. But anyway, neither here nor there. We are in my basement dwelling. Well, for the last few weeks, the majority of my meals have been MREs, which I purchased a little while ago at a discount rate because they were almost out of date, $35 a case. So pretty much for the last month, 2 cases of almost out-of-date MREs have been my main source of nutrients. A couple of times I've made myself some prison ramens, and even once or twice tweeted myself and supported local business, small, independent run takeout kebab shop. Went and get a couple of meals there, make sure the couple of boys that work there, have something to do, give them a little tip, make sure you support your local community. But on top of that, it does actually pretty good, healthy, fresh food. But today I'm going to show you how very, very, very easy it is, and give you a little example of why I have canned items in my pantry rather than lots of things like dried beans and rice. Why? Because it's fail proof, it's safe. All you need to do is open a can. So what I've done is I've selected 3 cans out of the pantry. One is a can of Campbell's chunky prime with rib with vegetables. The second one is a mixed bean salad, and the other one is a can of good old peeled white potatoes. Now these 3 cans on their own, maybe the soup might be a little bit okay to eat on its own. The beans, you could eat them. They're going to get you a lot of nutrients and stuff into your system. They are actually, look at the nutritional value on these. I don't know if you can make some of those figures out. This might be a little bit blurry for you, but vitamins, we're getting protein, we're getting fiber, we're getting all the almost everything you could possibly want out of this one can of beans. And the same with potatoes. Although canned ones aren't as nutritionally dense as fresh ones, they still do cover a lot of nutritional grounds. And the Campbell's Chunky is kind of a balanced meal in itself, will cover nearly all of your requirements. And especially these 3 combined, what we're going to do is make ourselves a little beef, bean, potato stew. And all I'm going to do is pop upstairs, open the cans and dump them in a saucepan. Nothing more, nothing less. Now I would take the camera upstairs and record you, but it's going to take more time and effort to do that than to just go up and throw this into a pot and pan and heat it up for maybe 5 minutes. All it takes. The other thing you could do is put this into a large container and throw it in the microwave. Okie dokie, there you go, guys. That is my little bowl of it's not actually a little bowl, it's a very big bowl, and this is one of the takeout containers that I do save. They are very, very useful and multi-purpose. And this is actually the 2nd serving I have. I must apologize, although it was instantaneous almost for you. It's actually been some hours since I started this video. And I ate the 1st serving, and I was about to make a video, but I got talking to a little bit of a friend of mine on Messenger that I haven't heard from a little while, and then all of a sudden, lots of friends that I hadn't heard of for a while suddenly started messaging me. So I had a little bit of communication with some friends, and at my 1st serving of this, so that little 3 cans made 2 very, very, very large portions of stew, and was very, very, very filling. And Not too bad at all. Now, this is not award-winning gourmet food. I did absolutely nothing but throw the 3 cans in a saucepan, bring it up to the boil, let it bubble for a couple of minutes just to make sure everything was hot, especially the potatoes. They're a little bit large. You only need to get some heat into the center of them, because that's not a little bit not very nice biting into a cold potato in your hot stew. The only other thing I did add was some of my, it isn't these onions, it's actually a little bit of my special all-in-one seasoning, where I've literally just threw all the seasonings that I had in my pantry into a reusable Ziploc trail mix bag, and the remainder of it I kind of leave it upstairs in this little container, which is also recycled. There were little crispy onions in there before, and keep that by the stove top for when I'm cooking it. Now, I am going to accompany this with some good old MRE items, because I do seem to have more components than entrees left, mainly because I've been kind of throwing a couple of entrees together to make one meal. So we're going to throw in some electrolyte beverage powder, carbohydrate, lemon and lime, a little bit like Gatorade, and we're also going to have some MRE crackers and some cheese spread as a dipping and you know, just a side dish, I guess. Now, hang on a second. Did you hear it? There was the hiss. That's what I was going for. I do love my MRE crackers. I don't know why. They are so bland and almost tasteless, but have such a wonderful comfort. Look at that as well. Oh my goodness. Oh, spoke too soon. I said I've never ever taken them out where they haven't broken, and almost immediately they broke. So that is going to be my side dish. But if you really wanted to, now a couple of other items you may or may know that I do may know or may not know, sorry about that, have in my pantry are these little packets of ready cooked basmati rice. And you know, there's one serving of rice there that you could add in, or guess what you could also add? That's right, good old Mr. Noodles, some ramen. I could just throw this packet right in there now, and the heat and the liquid would just hydrate that, and I'm good to go. I'm almost tempted to do that, but I have had a serving, and it might be a little bit too much. But again, these are additional items that you could throw in. And again, you know, 20 cents for a pack of Mr. Noodles. Unfortunately, this is $1. It is an expensive way to buy rice, but it's fail-safe. It's already cooked. You can just rip the bag open and eat it. You can throw this in a pan, boil it, and you can microwave it. And again, in an instance like this, I could just empty that in, stir it up, and it would probably just heat under the heat of the soup itself. But as I say, we're not going to throw a Mr. Noodles in. As I said, 20 cents, that's really not going to be breaking the budget too much if you throw that in this stew. The combined cost was less than $4. The most expensive item was the can of Campbell's, which was $2. And I got that on special, but the potatoes and the mixed bean salad, they were $1 a piece, give or take a few cents. I think maybe the beans were 87 cents, and perhaps the potatoes were $1.12. I do have a memory for these because I do buy a lot. Let's throw our little cracker debris in there. So as I said, guys, you could also supplement this and top it up with a pack of noodles or some rice, or even, you know, you could throw some dried pasta in the pan if you have it in your pantry while you're cooking this stew, and again, that's going to add some carbs and substance. Now, as I said, there's 2 very large portions that I made out of 3 cans, and quite possibly I could say there's maybe at least 3 servings, possibly 4, that you could have made out of the combined ingredients of those 3 cans if you really had to, and you could possibly easily serve 2 people with the one pot of really, you know, kind of balanced, nutritionally enhanced meal that will, you know, not win any awards, but it is gonna be filling, nutritious, and you know, a little bit healthy, I guess. So I'm trying to get this to me without spilling any, and probably should have thought a little bit about that beforehand. That's actually good. I mean, I had nothing, I didn't even add any additional water That was just the liquid. It was in the soup, in the potatoes. I did drain a little bit off of the beans, which is a little bit thick and gloopy. So yeah, you can kind of see we've got a big potato there. There are some of the beans. What else have we got? Now we've got the beef there. We've got some carrot, and I think there was also some potato. Shit. Lucky for me, I've got some napkins from the kebab shop I've already mentioned earlier in this episode. So I don't know if you can see that there. Like I say, it doesn't really look that Michelin star award winning. Well, I got meat, I got potatoes, I got veggies, and I've got beans. And the beans are extremely enriched with nutrients and vitamins and stuff like that. Let's get our lemon beverage in, and this will be my my supper. Actually, it's my seconds. Remember when I used to be a little boy, I wouldn't eat at all, and my mother would be proud of me if I ate like a potato, yet alone cleaned my plate. So Mum, I know you're not watching, but you should be proud of me. I'm eating seconds, and I know some of you mums in the Thrift fam will probably be proud of me. Also, Judy Bell, Baby Pampin, I'm talking about you. But I do have a lot of mums and a lot of sisters and brothers and uncles and aunties that are part of the Thrift fam that don't keep me alone during this time of solitude and quarantine. Now, I was going to mention something actually earlier. I was chatting. I've left a comment, sorry, I wasn't chatting, I ended up chatting, but I did leave a comment on Facebook on something I follow called Emmy Made in Japan. She's a YouTuber. She actually has 1 million subscribers, more than 1 million subscribers. But I kind of come across her some years ago for her MRE reviews, and funny enough, she also makes prison ramen. Very entertaining, sweet, light-hearted family entertainment. You should watch Emmy Made in Japan for some light-hearted relief and some feel-good factor. But I was talking about an MRE. She posted a video that she just had a British ration MRE, and I happened to mention to somebody that I'd been living off of MREs for some time. Now, an individual, a stranger, somebody I don't even know, never spoken to before. I'm actually going to find out her name for you because I've forgotten. Hold on a second. Okay, it was Susan Eagle, and she commented on the Emmy Made comment. There's Emmy Made. Look, in Japan, she's eating a MRE there, and there has Susan Eagle. I'm not going to show you any more than that. I'm not actually going to read the comments. There's other sort of stuff on there as well. But basically, I said that I'd been living on MREs for the last few weeks, and she replied along the lines of, "Oh my goodness, where are you located? Can we send you some food?" And honestly to God, guys, that kind of touched me and kind of lifted me a little bit today. I'm not saying this to kiss ass or kind of, look sensitive or anything. It really did. Most people, myself included, we're kind of getting a little bit low as this prolonged lockdown bullshit continues. And as I said, some of you guys, the Thrift fam, you've been extremely kind and generous and supportive to me during this time with donations and care packages. And without some of you guys, I would have been penniless and possibly smokeless by now. But some of you guys have been very kind. But Susan Eagle, stranger, not part of the Thrift fam, doesn't even know I'm a YouTuber, just saw a random comment on a Facebook post and wanted to help. So Susan, I'm gonna give you a shout out. Sorry, darling. And thank you for that. Honestly, knowing that there are still good people like yourself and like the Thrift fam out there, it's heartwarming. So thank you so much, Susan. But we did kind of chat a little bit back and forth after that, and I kind of explained I am an MRE enthusiast type thing, and I do enjoy eating them and the reasons why I've been eating them as opposed to the other stuff out of my pantry. So here you can see, Susan, it's maybe not the best of food, but it isn't yucky. And MREs aren't exactly yucky food. They're not exactly the best thing to be eating on a prolonged period of time, but they are, nutritionally dense and enhanced to have you know, additional vitamins and stuff to help you if you haven't got much food or you are a military person out in the field. So as you can see, guys, I got a little bit of everything in here. I got some veggies, I got my potatoes, I got my beans. I might even have to go and throw this in the microwave and warm it up for another couple of minutes. And that's what I did. And I told you it was microwavable. I heated it up in the pan for maybe 5 to 7 minutes, no longer than 10. All I did is dump 3 cans into a saucepan and added a little bit of my magic powder, and that's it. And that's supper. And it really doesn't need any additional kind of seasonings. The soup has got its own broth and flavor going on. A little bit of the dressing and marinade that the bean salad was on is giving it a little bit of flavor. And as I say, guys, in an emergency, if you're out camping, or you know, maybe the power was out, you had no electricity or no you know, pots and pans, although you could benefit with a pot and pan, you could even throw all of this into a large Ziploc bag and mix it up and be able to eat it from that if you wanted to. But just throwing a few cans together that look like maybe bland items on their own, combined, have made an inexpensive and somewhat nutritional, healthy supper. And you know, as I said, you could easily see it served 2 people, maybe even 2 people and a child with this dish for less than $2 a serving. So I'm going to tuck in and enjoy the rest of this, guys. I do got my crackers to enjoy. Do you want me to put some cheese on the crackers before we end the video? A little bit of squeezy cheese time. Squeezy cheese time is good. So we'll slice that on with our good old friend box cutter. Just remember, it cuts off lips and ears as easily as it cuts off cheesy squeezy cheese sachet. So let's get a big dollop of squeezy cheese on our cracker. We can get our spoon to give it a little bit of a kind of spread. You could even throw some of the cheese in here actually to maybe thicken the soup up and add a little bit of cheesy goodness, because there's a little bit of a tip in the service industry that everything can be improved with cheese and bacon. So bon appetit on the cracker. And this is a really good meal. It's going to fill me up, and with almost zero to no effort whatsoever. All you just do, throw it in a pan, heat it up, and you're good to go. As I said, it's not overly fancy. It's not going to win any awards, but it doesn't taste bad. And most importantly, it is going to fill me up. So as I said, guys, I'm not going to prolong this video anymore by forcing you to watch me eat and chomp. And I kind of want to eat it before it goes cold. So there is a little overview. You can see it from above. Look, everything that is in there: meat, potatoes, veggies, beans, all good. And as I said, you could add additional items like rice, ramen, or pasta to bulk it up. And again, pasta, ramen are kind of cheap and expensive items that aren't going to be breaking the bank. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for watching. Let's have a little bit of a sip of lemon and lime, and the reason being, I'm trying to drag this video out a little bit longer, and I also want to give baby P a burp. If I can't always burp on cue, but there you go, baby P, that is for you as always. So thanks for watching, guys. You know the drill. It is a shit video production. It is TSP TV. I don't know why I did that. Maybe I'll try and edit something fancy in there at the end. We'll see you in another one, guys. Until then, keep it thrifty, and remember, be excellent to each other. Take care, guys. Peace out. See you soon.